Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining us under the library. This is our actual play homebrew Call of Cthulhu show, set in the sandbox created by our very own keeper and built by all of us, mostly in the moment. And if you're a podcast listener, don't forget to stick around to the end of the show, where there are a bunch more of those wacky clips that I play in the beginning of the show at the end. There's a bunch there, don't miss them. Sometimes those are even better than the ones in the beginning. If you happen to enjoy what we do here and would like to support us, we would really appreciate that. There are a couple of ways you can do it. You can go on the interwebs to DriveThruRPG and purchase the Snake's Oil. That is our very own Call of Cthulhu module, set in the Season 1 time period of this here universe. You can also go to patreon.com/underthelibrary. That thing is going to be getting a major revamp in the next couple of weeks, so there's going to be some great stuff there. More on that when it happens. And one more thing before we get going. If you are a tabletop RPG player or GM and would like to level up your role-playing, character creation and development, or improvisational narrative skills, you should absolutely check out our other podcast that is called Up Your RPG, and you can find it wherever you get your podcasts. With that, let's do a show. My name's Arthur. I'm playing Franny. Tonight we are one Scott short. So joining me are Emily as Joe, Rick as Sam, Chris as Boone, Wayne as Rutherford, and as always, our keeper is Michael. Michael, take us away.
Hey, thanks, Art. Under the Library is a tabletop role-playing game set in the Call of Cthulhu universe, and we are immature people dealing with mature themes. This is your content warning. As such, if you've ever sought out the aristocrats joke in any way whatsoever, you're in an okay place. And if you haven't, I'm sorry, because now you probably will, because you won't be able to resist that curiosity.
And then you're still probably one of us.
Yes. Yeah. But that's your content warning. And with that, I'll turn it over to Emily with last week's recap.
Okay. So, out of fear for Franny's well-being, Joe and Cully agree to go back with Sam. He had told them that she was bleeding out and had 10 minutes to live.
He did say that.
Joe agrees to disguise herself using some things that Sam had in his truck instead of going back to her house in the general store. Sam knows some first aid and he's able to rebandage Franny. They get her into the truck and head towards Abiquiu. At the same time, Rutherford and Boone have a big head start, and they're also driving to Abiquiu. Boone is examining the box that Rutherford found. He tries to pry it open, but there is no visible way to get in, no latch, and he breaks off the tip of his knife. The drive takes about 5 hours, during which Rutherford has visions, seeing the car passing as if from the outside in the wilderness, from the terrain around the road in different locations. He stops outside of Abiquiu, parks behind a billboard, and has another vision. He is on the ground on hands and knees, feels electricity, his whole body shakes, visions of all sorts of visions. He is terrified, but then gets a hold of himself, gets back in the car, and wants to see what it can do. So pedal to the metal, he heads into town.
It could possibly go wrong.
Into his rear view mirror, siren blaring. At the same time, he has a repeat vision of the woman giving birth, which he had a vision of before, but this time she is shackled to the bed and screaming. What's going on with Rutherford? Back to Sam with Cully, Franny, and Joe in tow. He takes a different route out of town so he can stop at his ranch, and we meet his little son, Amos. Joe appreciates the father-son moment that they have.
Daddy, I love you.
Feels a little more amenable to Sam. But I should mention that Sam convinced Amos to stay behind by promising him a blue bike and baseball cards for the spokes.
Daddy,
He
I'm
just
so
didn't
excited
see
for that bike. I can't wait to get that bike.
to get his kid a bike. He goes
Oh,
in.
the privilege.
Wife Cheryl is canning beans in the kitchen. She asks Sam if he paid his gambling debts. He says there may be money in the good deed that he is going to do. She ducks his kiss and tells him to hush your mouth, don't tell me how to do things, and to get out of here. Oh, and we met Zed the dog. Can't forget the dog. Okay. Policeman approaches Rutherford's window. Rutherford is able to talk to Officer Mulvaney and convince him that they are also agents and that he should help them by directing all other agent cars back to Los Alamos. Mulvaney is himself applying to be an agent, and he really wants to help. They finally arrive at the house and park in an empty garage. The side door is unlocked. They hear a woman's voice inside. Richard, is that you? Late crash. Rutherford introduces himself, and she seems to have no patience for his tangents, but he is eventually able to tell her how Rutherford died. How Richard died. And we also meet her little girl, who looks to be about 8 years old. Rutherford sees pictures on the wall of these two, mother and daughter, and it seems likely that Richard took them. But she wants to know all the details of what happened, and Rutherford tells her everything he can about the abduction and the death. And together, they drink a gin and tonic in Richard's honor. It was his favorite drink, using his favorite gin, water for Boone, who does not drink unless he can't avoid it. And we ended with an 89 Constitution roll from Rutherford. Roll for gin.
All right. And so with that 89, as you're sitting at the table, Rutherford, and you're sipping on your drink, you have these sharp pains, almost like little firecrackers going off inside your head that just are excruciating moments. Boone, as you're sitting there, you're watching Rutherford, and you see him flinch and flick his head uncharacteristically. You've never seen him do this before, to the left and right a few times.
Sort of like Rick was doing earlier?
No, maybe, possibly. So you catch this, and so does she, and she looks at you from across the table, and she says, Mr. Rutherford, are you okay?
Am I able to talk?
Yeah, you're it's painful, but it was just like momentary bursts.
Okay. What? Actually, did I get her name?
You haven't.
Very polite of you.
I said, Mr. Rutherford, are you okay?
And I said, well, okay, I'm gonna just say I forgot her name because of the blast. Okay, and I said I'm having a bit of an issue, and I quickly pull a kitchen chair out and sit down, and I grasp my head, and Rutherford would probably think it's a stroke. He's like, I think something.
Well, I don't think it's a stroke. Richard's head exploded. Is your head about to explode? Why would I think it's a stroke?
And I'm not quite sure. And I feel like I need to lay down, because I was going to ask the woman of the house. I said, "Ma'am, do you have a couch I can lay down?"
Oh, sweet Jesus! I just told her Richard's head exploded.
Oh crap! You're right. Give me a second.
Oh no!
Oh, good catch.
Oh dear.
I was wondering there.
So she turns and just stunned looks at you, and his head exploded.
Well, so to speak, he was shot in the head, ma'am. I shouldn't have gotten so grisly with the details.
Oh, shot in the head? Why?
Because whoever wanted him out of the picture wanted him make sure he was out of the picture.
She kind of grabs her stomach and then her head, and she just turns away with her drink, and she kind of walks to the back of the kitchen, and she leaves you and Rutherford sitting there.
Now, I forget, was Rutherford injured during the whole gunplay thing?
Oh, yeah.
But you don't know that.
Yeah, that was ambiguous.
But I do have a shirt with a big tear on it, front of it, and dried blood all around, which could be from something else.
And we were
Is that visible
together
to others? Because that's what I was questioning, is whether it was
I've never
something.
changed my shirt, yes. So.
No, but I mean, my point was that it kind of felt like only you could see it. Like that's what I was wondering, is if it was part of your hallucinations.
Oh, the actual hole in the tear in the dried blood is. Oh, the shirt.
He's covered in blood on the front of his shirt, and there's a bullet hole in the front of his shirt.
Oh, yeah, I was sleeping, so I didn't pick up on it until maybe now. Like, oh, holy jumping baby Christmas! For all you, I don't want to take the Lord's name in vain, but my gosh, were you injured, Mr. Rutherford?
Mr. Boone, I need to lay down on there.
Oh, well, let me help you here. You shouldn't have been drinking alcohol. Take some of this here water.
Okay. I take a big swig of Mr. Boone's water, and I said, "Take me over to that mid-century modern couch that hasn't been invented yet, and let me lay down on it."
Okay, so I help him up over to the couch.
I said, "This Richard with his fancy furniture that's not very comfortable, stylish, but
yep." It looks like in the future it'll be designed by Scandinavians, like people from Denmark.
And I'm sticking to the damn leather.
And as you're walking, Boone, as you're walking Rutherford, it's not a big house by any stretch. So just to kind of give you the layout, as you walked in the side door that you walked in, to the left was like a sitting area off the kitchen. As you go in straight, you're walking through the kitchen. There's a couple of bedrooms back down a hallway to the left. Once you get out of the kitchen, and to the right, it opens up into like a living room in the front of the house. And so you've basically taken Rutherford into the living room, onto the couch, and you're aware of the woman in the back of the house talking to the child in some muted tones.
So she went into the kitchen.
Right, but as you walk Rutherford, she left the back of the kitchen after she learned about the gunshot, and she's in the back.
So she went down towards the bedrooms?
Yeah, to talk to the child. Yep.
Okay.
So you're kind of at opposite ends of the house, even though it's small.
Okay, well, geez, you should have let me look at it, Mr. Rutherford. So I'm going to take a look at his wound with, I'm a well-known hobo doctor.
And I said, Mr. Boone, and I'm holding my head at the same time, and I stick my hand inside the button, the shirt buttons. And I said, there seems to be no wound at this time, and I must have been struck with something that tore my shirt and knocked the wind out of me, because there is
no, sir, this is a bullet hole. I've seen lots of bullet holes in my life. This ain't a tear to your shirt. It's a dang hole. See, I hold it up. See how it pushed the fabric through, and then the blood came out from there.
So I'd have to say at this point, where Rutherford is distracted, so his full attention is going to be hard with the pain. Is the pain in his head subsiding or getting worse?
It went away. It was just like these sudden kind of onset pain. Yeah, momentary, and then it went away.
But Rutherford still, the fact that it happened, it's like I believe I had some sort of thunder. He goes on a tangent, a thunderclap headache there. That must be the explanation for it, with all this stress and lack of sleep, Mr. Boone.
That might be an explanation for the fit you had back there, but that's not an explanation for why you're all drenched in your own blood and there's no visible wound on your body.
And I believe I was.
You're a man of science. This seems to defy logic.
It certainly does. I did have that Mr. Poulet on me with all of his chicken drippings or blood coming out of him all over me, and that must be the explanation for it.
Again, you're circling away from logic here. You have a bullet hole. You're drenched in blood, but there's no entry wound in your body.
And that just
now apply logic. Don't get all.
Well, I'm attempting to understand it, and I actually don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. There has to be an explanation for it, but I don't have one.
Well, I guess we'll have to table that one for another time.
And he says,
as we say in Hobo Corporation, Hobo Corp.
Let's put a pin in that one.
Yeah, put a pin.
Boone, you want to make like a little psychology roll, or something like that, something in that nature, just to check on if you can.
I might have that.
While you're looking at, I as a listener to this story, Boone has examined Rutherford and found no bullet wound behind the hole in the shirt.
Correct.
Okay.
And just to clarify, even in his death, you're trying to blame Bello. It's
probably his fault.
Okay.
But I'm one away. I'm going to burn a luck to make the roll with a regular success.
Sure. There's something off with Rutherford's denial of the science and the logic. He's such a logical person and always kind of in pursuit of the truth. His brush off of this entirely leads you to believe that he certainly knows more about this bullet hole in his shirt, and that I think it would be pretty clear to you the way he's brushing it off that he knows what happened.
Okay, now I forget, was I there when Richard came in and he was like a changed person?
When Richard came in and he was a chief.
Remember, after you'd been abducted, he came in and everyone was saying he's not acting like
Richard.
Because I'm convinced that anyone's head could explode at any moment. So I'd be looking for, some sort of correlation there.
I don't think he was awake before you left. I'm trying to remember when you left. You took my car. I think it was after they were patching me up.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I came back, his head was already exploded. So, yeah, I wasn't privy to that. I was just told after the fact that that's what had happened.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'm not going to act on it. I'm just going to keep that in my back pocket. I don't want to press him on it.
Okay. And yeah.
So I said, I'll try to sit up. And I said, Mr. Boone, help me sit up straight in the couch, please. And so I push myself up. Do I feel healthy enough and strong enough after this?
Yeah, you just had like sudden pains in your head.
So do I feel good enough, like, for instance, after the incident at the house with all the shooting and the killing, where I felt good, I felt healthy,
Yeah, I mean, you like, as soon as the pain, it's just like sudden sporadic pain, and as soon as it passes, you're okay again.
So
you don't have this happen to your body in real life, like this isn't a thing
absolutely.
that happen?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had pains in my head that I thought, oh shit, this is bad, and then it just goes away.
Yeah, just like that,
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, coupled with everything else. So Rutherford sits up and he says, Mr. Boone, and he unbuttons his shirt. He unbuttons it from the bottom and 3/4 of the way up, and then he pulls it apart. He says, Mr. Boone, and he says, can you see anything different with the skin right here? And I point to where, well, I said, Mr. Boone, I was shot, but there doesn't seem to be a bullet hole here, and
Okay, yeah, I'll take another good look, but it just confirms what I already saw.
So does this is it the skin any different? Like, does it like is there scar or?
Oh yeah, is there a sign that there was a hole but it like healed over?
That's what Rutherford's asking.
Yeah, there's no visible scar.
Wow.
Because and I look at Mr. Boone and I look him directly.
You know what? Let's go back on that.
Okay.
Let's leave this up to the dice. Give me a spot hidden there, Boone.
This is a retcon.
Yeah,
Very quick
that
retcon.
is. It's a hard success.
Okay. Yeah, there's definitely kind of a malformation or reformation in the skin there where there's almost a divot. The flesh is fully healed over, and but there's a definite what would that be? Impression?
Indentation.
Indentation. That's the word I need. Thank you.
I'm here for you.
That happened with me when you know how sometimes you with nylon rope you melt the end of it to keep it from fraying.
Yep.
I did it with the lighter. It burst into flames, and like an idiot, I decided to shake it out.
Ooh,
and
shit!
Molten
Flew off. Yep.
Went up on my hands. I rinsed it underwater, picked them out, and for years there were little craters where it had. So I imagine something like that, where the hot.
Perfect description. Yeah. Perfect description.
So
there's a little crater.
There's a little crater. There's definitely something there, but it's not what I would expect from, a bullet wound. Not even a bullet wound that it healed. It's almost like someone took a hot poker, just kissed it up against your skin.
And
or the bullet hit and it. I'm being silly now. The bullet hit and it bounced off you or something.
So, Mr. Boone, you're getting to the point where I am. It doesn't make sense. I know I was shot in that room, but then it didn't seem as if I was. So I was accepting that. But now you've even seen something which I didn't. And so the only explanation is that perhaps the bullet had lost enough velocity that it didn't make as much of a wound as expected. But where did all the...
did you get maybe you got hit by a ricochet?
That's what I was thinking. There was so many bullets in the room and shooting. It could have easily been a fragment broken off of something else that wasn't perhaps even a bullet, but maybe a shard of something. I can only think that there's no plausible explanation for being shot and healed this quickly. So it must be something else. That's where my scientific brain has taken me.
Well, I agree. That's the closest we could come to a logical explanation. But remember, we've seen a lot of strange goings on here. Plus, I have a lot of strange things I've encountered in my life up to this point. So I know you don't cotton to this kind of thing, but I wouldn't rule out some sort of supernatural phenomena.
Well, considering what happened to our friend Richard and what was going on inside of him, those pieces of strange biological aspects that look like kelp going into his cranium, that made no sense. There's some curious things going on, and I once again I think a lot of this is related to the facility and these agents and the whole goings on around there, and perhaps even some of the testing they're doing with nuclear science at Los Alamos. That's what they're doing. They're harnessing the power of the sun and shouldn't be doing so. It's wrong, and terrible things could be coming from that we don't even know about. It could be mutating things. I don't know. It makes no sense to me, but it has to be stopped. Terrible.
Well,
terrible.
if you start feeling strange, don't keep it to yourself. Let me know. Maybe we can keep what happened from Mr. Richard from happening to you.
And then so Rutherford pauses at that because he hasn't really thought about that, like his own his own demise wasn't even, in his, he doesn't feel good, but he's like, and so he'll take a minute there, and then he goes, and then he says, Mr. Boone, I appreciate that. I wasn't thinking along those lines at all. I was just thinking about the people and the things around me. That is very, 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 very kind of you.
Well, I'll keep an eye on you. We're traveling companions, and that means something to me. It means something in the hobo world. Now, can I propose an experiment? This just popped into my head. Could you take another drink of that liquor? I wonder if the liquor was somehow a trigger for what hurt your head.
Do you think she put anything in
No,
it?
not necessarily that she put anything in it, but maybe just you don't strike me as and I see the keeper smiling a little bit there, so maybe I'm barking down the right trail, but maybe the alcohol itself was
Rutherford, Boone, Mr. Boone, you're a born scientist. We should get to the bottom of this. I agree, and I will be part of this experiment. Yes, go. If you can go grab that glass, I will wait right here on the couch.
Okay, I go grab the glass and hand it to him. Because what is it like? Repetition is the foundation of science, or I don't know, something like that.
There's something about hobgoblins in there, but we'll ignore those and just take a drink and do the same thing over and over again. It may lead to madness. And Rutherford chuckles and takes a drink of the gin and tonic.
Okay, give me another con roll.
Here we go. 150 I'll roll.
99.
99.
A very middling roll. That is this is my constitution. Oh
yeah,
I made it by 6 points.
Oh, I wanted you not to make it.
It's just a regular success.
Regular success.
Okay. So y'all are sitting conversing for a couple more minutes after the sip, and Rutherford has these tremendous pangs that just ring out in his head. They're quick and sharp. It feels like things are popping inside his head.
Oh my God. Dude, I know what it is. Voldemort's torturing someone.
What?
Voldemort's torturing someone.
So Rutherford...
What I think it is as a player is that he's got that same thing in him, and that entity doesn't like alcohol.
So Rutherford is kind of a weird thing, because I know, having read, going on an aside, the history of Richard Feynman, the physicist, he actually played with lucid dreams, and in a scientific way, he taught himself how to do lucid dreaming and control them. So Rutherford's intrigued in that, and this pain and these visions he's been having, and so he tries when this pain is happening in his head, he wants to see if he can recollect any visions, if that's possible.
Make a POW roll.
Got it. Okay. Whoa! 13. That is an extreme success.
All right, then. So as you kind of go through it with this scientific mind after you take the second drink during those explosions in your head, it's like you're able to kind of focus in on the pain. And as you focus in on the pain, you realize the explosions are brilliant blasts of hundreds of memories, but they're not your memories. And so it's almost like they're flooding your mind instantaneously with childbirth, things dying, being chased as an animal, being hunted down, some sublime things too, like waterfalls, as well as kind of lightning strikes. But the problem is they're all coming at you at once, hundreds of them.
So the quick question is then, these memories, are they dissociated in that they are coming from obvious different sources, like one's an animal, one's a human, one like different people, or does it seem like they are from a coherent story? Is it like could be from the same chapter in someone's life?
No,
Like.
they're all over the place, and in fact, in one of them, you feel you're the mouse being attacked by the scorpion, and in another one, you're a lion pouncing on an antelope. So it's just this whole, but right, you're not able
to magnified version of
it
being behind the billboard in the desert when it was the super connected thing.
Is there any chance that one of the memories is Richard?
Oh,
huh. You know what? Make a luck roll on that. That's kind of fun.
Wow.
I kind of like that. Should just probably go with it.
Oh, burnt some luck, but I got it just barely.
Okay. And
you can't burn luck on a luck roll.
No, not burning it. The luck that I had burned.
Oh, okay,
gotcha.
cool. And now I was like, how do you burn luck to make? Okay, so as the pain started, there were these kind of 3 brilliant bursts, and each one of them was so loaded with imagery, you're not really able to parse it. You almost parse it into feelings over visions. Mm-hmm. And in that last kind of final burst, you're having this residual feeling, and it's very clear that you're sitting on a bed and you're looking at yourself. And as you're looking at yourself, you're talking to you, and it looks like you're trying to comfort yourself in this vision, and all of a sudden you realize in that moment that you're sitting on Richard's bed talking to you. Are you with me there?
I'm sending you a little message.
Yep, I know what you're painting, the picture you're painting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, go for it. Of course.
And so I have to remember his accents, and I look at Mr. Boone, and I just quickly say,
"That is very quick."
Yeah, that is Mr. Rutherford. Are you feeling okay? This is your good friend Richard. And then Rutherford shakes his head and looks at Mr. Boone and goes, There's so many things that just went through my head, like a dam bursting, and
wow, all that from a couple of shots of gin. Well, just I'm gonna just to be the control here in the experiment. I'm gonna take a sip of it and see if anything happens to me.
Oh, uh-oh.
You have to make a con roll now, Boone.
Boone, what normally happens when you drink?
Yeah, that's
fuck me.
That's the issue.
Oh my god!
No.
That's
I
the
blame
issue.
science.
Yeah.
Damn you, science!
There's always a good reason. There's always a good reason.
Oh gosh, in heaven. Let's see, what kind of roll was it?
Constitution roll.
Nope, I did not make it. I have a pretty low constitution.
Okay. As you take that sip of gin, all those warm feelings rush over you, Boone, and you start to, even in that quick moment, you know it's going to feel good to just take another sip and another sip and another sip. And before you know it, as you're sitting there in the name of science, you drink the whole glass of gin, and you keep going back to the counter, and you're refilling that glass over and over as this conversation continues.
Okay.
Rutherford's a little self-absorbed, but does he know?
So, yeah, what were you saying before I interrupted you, Mr. Rutherford?
and Rutherford had been sitting there just contemplating these visions and trying to put him. He would have even had his eyes closed, and opens them back up, and he says, "Oh, Mr. Boone, I heard quite a few glasses clinking. The lady of the house must be out and having another drink with you."
No, I was just, replicating the experiment just to be safe.
And I'm like, oh, I see. And did the drinking of the beverage affect you at all?
No, it didn't make my head hurt. If anything, it made it feel better.
huh? And I said, that's most curious. And I was like, well, we shouldn't partake of too many beverages here. We have work to do, and dead agents in the trunk of a car that we need to get rid of later.
All right. Well, we also have a startled woman and a child here that we.
Indeed, Mr. Boone. So Rutherford composes himself, buttons his shirt back up, and looks at Mr. Boone, and I said, "Mr. Boone, let's tend to the people here and ask them if we can stay until sundown at least, and then we'll take the car up into the out into the outskirts of town and do what we have to do."
Okay, you do that. I'm going to stay here and dispose of this bottle.
And I said, does Rutherford notice anything? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, at this point, Boone's starting to slur a bit, and he seems.
Hey, I can hold my liquor. Don't make me slur after a couple of shots of gin.
Okay.
Once
so
I polish off this bottle, that might be different.
Maybe then he's just getting a little bit of an edge about him.
And I said,
I'm obviously getting a little defensive.
Yeah.
So Mr. Rutherford will just say, "It's Mr. Boone, and we need to keep our senses about us. Perhaps not a whole bottle." And then you just, how about a half a bottle?
No, I was just going to get rid of it in case it's tainted. It could be tainted. That's that might be what was hurting your head.
Like, oh, I see. We're going to pour it down the drain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'll join you in a few minutes.
It's very well. Good thinking. It could be. Yeah. It could.
Also, there's some dishes in here. I figured I'll clean those up just to be nice.
And so Rutherford heads towards the bedroom where the woman and the daughter are to talk to them.
Okay, and so we'll cut from that scene as Boone. Are you just sitting on the couch there, filling your glass? Is that what you're doing?
No, I'm actually doing the dishes and swigging straight out of the bottle.
Oh, okay. Are you singing? I imagine Boone's singing.
Oh, sure, why not?
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, you got to do what's the song? The
buzzing of the bees and the cigarette trees and the soda water fountain. Nice. Something in the air and the bird's derriere on the big rock candy mountain.
I have a hunch your words are going to change as it goes along.
Nice. So that song's kind of bleeding into the background, Rutherford, as you poke your head into the bathroom or into the bedroom, and you see the woman consoling the child who appears to be upset and crying. We're going to cut from that scene. And we'll go over to Sam Wagoneer's car, and with Franny in the back, Cully asleep, and Joe, you're in boys' clothing now, correct? Your hair tucked up under the hat.
Yep.
And you're kind of fully embracing your disguise. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
And as we get closer and closer to Abiquiu, I become more and more visually anxious. Yeah, there's that. I'm also fidgeting. My knees are bouncing, and I keep looking around to see how close we are. And I'm just very on edge.
Yeah, as your knees are fidgeting, you manage to catch a little bit of skin as you're kind of picking at your thumb, and it peels back into the quick there, and you pull at it and pick at it, and you just keep kind of grinding away at that spot on your thumb.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I suppose I would notice this. Joe's I look over picking on her fingers, and I said, "Joe, it looks like you're a bit anxious there. What always calms my nerves when I have a moment of trepidation.
What's that?
Do you like music, Joe?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you here, I got Hank Williams' newest, and I like to just croon just a little bit here. So let me see what I got here on the radio, and oh, there we go. Yeah, did you hear that lonesome whippoorwill? He sounds too blue to fly. The midnight train is winding low. I'm so lonesome I could cry. Oh my Lord, it just gets me every time there, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I gotta turn this off.
That calms you down. It does.
It does. It brings me back. It's very grounding, and reminds me of my mother, Rachel. It's a good song. Anyways,
I don't have a radio. I don't get to listen to much music.
You don't? Well,
No.
Well, we can. Do you have anything yet?
Do you think we're pretty close?
I think we're pretty close.
I kind of recognize this, but.
Oh, it's okay, Rachel. It's going to be just fine. I think we're going to get there. And what's bothering you?
I just haven't been back in 6 years.
Oh wow.
I don't know I don't know if anyone's gonna know me.
And
I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be fine. I'm sure it's gonna be fine. Just
what would they know you from there, Joe?
I think we might have talked about this earlier. Did Sam and I? No, I wouldn't have talked about this with Sam. Okay, sorry.
Not at all. I can go back to Hank Williams if you'd like. I'm happy to do that.
No. That's fine. Nothing really. Just wondering if anyone will remember me. That's all.
Remember you? Is that from like you played around there as a kid and now you're coming back, or is this
because I lived there? I was born there.
Yeah. And remind me, why'd you leave?
Well, I needed to go to a new place.
You need to make a sand roll.
Okay. That's a failure.
Oh, poor Joe. I'm only going to take 2 points from you.
Oh, that's nice. Yep, that's just fine. Totally fine. Everything's going to be fine.
And do I notice this distress on Joe as the veins on her temples, I'm sure, are whipping around there?
I don't know about the veins on her temples, but she's giving you kind of all these.
Knees are bobbling.
Yeah.
My fingers bleeding.
Yeah. Joe, I think we need to think of something else. Let's play I Spy with My Little Eye. Do you know that one? I play that one. I play that one with my boy Amos all the time.
I used to play that with my parents too.
Yeah. Well, we can play it right now. What do you spy there, Joe, with your little eyes? We're heading down the interstate here.
Something red.
Oh, something red. And let me see here. Is it? Oh boy. Is it the sunset, Joe?
Well, no, I think it's more. The sun's way up in the sky right now.
Fair. That's a fair point. Is it the color of the truck?
Well, I don't know what color your truck is. I also don't know why I'm speaking in your accent.
It's contagious, isn't it? Oh,
no.
Man.
It's the new Herald.
That's right.
Yacker? Was it Yacker?
Yacker was the one who took on people's accents, but Harold's was contagious for people.
Oh,
That's where that got started.
That's fair. That's
I gotta say, Sam, your accent has shifted this episode.
Yeah.
I think it's better.
And it is better, but the serial killer vibe coming off of him in the car
That's
right
true.
now is
That's
pretty
true.
high. Like, it
does have a minor creep factor.
Yeah, I'm a little uncomfortable in the GM chair here.
Oh, well, good. So, Joe,
man.
what is it? Is it a billboard, Joe? Is it big and square?
No.
I'll confess,
you
out
are
of
in
character. I've never played I Spy with My Little Eyes, so I'm just sort of improving.
You got it. Yeah.
Is this good?
That's
This is
how you
good.
play it.
Back-
You
back
have
in,
mastered the complex rules of I Spy.
I just want to put out there that the billboard that you're pointing out to her that you're passing by is the one that Rutherford stopped at earlier for the hair bomb. So,
I see. As we're cruising by, I said, "Is it hair bomb, Joe?"
No. Can we pull over? I think I just need some fresh air.
Sure. And I'll take a quick look in the rear view. Is there anybody behind us that I can see?
There's well, you can make a spot hidden.
I could make that spot hidden. See here, it's a 38. Let me look at my spot hidden. It's a success.
All right, and as you pull over, there's a car behind you, but as you pull over to the side, it gets closer and it just passes on by. It's a green model. Nothing particular stands out. There's a couple in the front seat.
Okay. And so I'll pull over and say, "All right, Joe, and I'm gonna just keep an eye here. I don't want you to stray too far. You can get a little bit of air though."
Yeah. So I just hop out and just kind of like lean over, kind of with my hands on my knees in that, taking deep breaths.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to make a con roll with that? And we'll see.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Oh, I rolled a 4.
All right. So you got that narrative, then you go for it.
Okay. Okay. I just needed to pull myself together. Deep breaths help, you know? That's what my mom always used to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'll mosey over to Joe, and I have the first aid kit, and I take a little bit of gauze out, and I just start wrapping her thumb up.
Oh, thanks. It's something I do when I'm a little nervous, I guess.
Oh, that's fine. You just
But it's okay.
You don't want to pick on down to the bone there. You're going. We need a little nubbins. You can't be picking at that.
I don't like the word nubbins. That makes me uncomfortable.
Oh, I'm sorry, Joe. I'm
Get
sorry.
back in the truck.
That sounds probably like a good idea.
I think we should go. I think I'm ready.
That sounds good to me, Joe. So
This episode's gonna take a lot of debriefing.
Where's Franny?
You were more charming, Sam, when you were holding shotguns at people.
So as we're getting back in, I'll check in on Franny. I'll kind of lift up the burlap that we have over the back, and I'll say, "How you doing back here, dear?"
I think I'm feeling better.
Could you use anything before we get back on the road?
Can I check your nubbin for you?
Do you have some water up there? Some water would be very nice. It's very hot back here under this burlap. It's an odd choice of material to to put over someone in the desert.
I know. I went with and so
that was a callback to our improv class. Very well done.
So I'll of course, Freddie, I'll hand her a little bit of water, and I'll go and I'll check, make sure that she's still tucked in, that her feet are up, and that her feet are covered. I don't want that flapping a jacket in the air.
The what now?
Oh, Sam, so good to have you with us.
material on her feet. I don't want her feet exposed, flapping around.
All right. See, that makes sense. That thing that you said before doesn't really make sense. And it's almost alarming there, Sam. So what's going on with Cully here? There's this boy laying next to me.
Sleeping hard.
What's he doing?
Yeah, so he looks passed out like an armadillo after a long night. I think we'll just we'll let him slumber.
Aren't armadillos? Never mind.
I think they're nocturnal. We can get back in the car.
Thank you. Okay.
We should, if we're gonna do this, we got to do it. The longer I put it off, the worse it gets.
That sounds fine. Well, I'll hop back in the car and I'll take a look. And anybody come in immediately? It's safe for me to full pack out.
No.
As in nobody's coming. All right. If the road's clear, I'll pop back out on the road, signal appropriately, and get on our way back to Abiquiu.
I recognize this. We're really close now.
And I'm making sure I'm mindful of the speed limit there, Keeper. I don't want to provoke any of the local lawmen. And
sure.
Yep. And I guess are we getting into town?
Are you in the 1940s equivalent of a white van with no windows? Like, can I just ask that right now?
There's nothing. It's just a standard pickup truck with burlap over the back.
That's right. Joe, go ahead and open up
burlap.
the glove compartment.
Why?
Oh God.
Why, Sam?
You'll see.
Chris, what?
Oh my God! I
Chris,
don't know why I find this so disturbing.
Yeah,
Chris, what
on
was
its face? There's nothing wrong with what's going on.
But what was that movie where
I don't know.
The guy kidnapped and he had to go through all the phases of abduction to figure out what happened to his girlfriend? Do you remember that one?
Nope.
I'll have to look it up. It's an old French film. This is exactly what it feels like. It's just creepy like that.
You mean Irreversible?
No. Oh God, no.
Okay.
That's
No.
sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anyways, I guess go to the glove compartment.
Don't
Sam.
watch
I'm
Irreversible,
sorry to derail you.
Okay. What's in here?
And as you open it up, out falls out. It's a little toy train. And I'll say, and check in the back, Joe. There's some candies there for you. Might be able to occupy you on our way in.
Oh, I'm not hungry. I couldn't eat. I'm too tense.
Just gets creepier.
All right. Something you can play with, then. That's fine. It's little Amos's choo choo.
You know, I'm 16.
Listen.
That delivery was amazing.
and I'll just close the glove compartment and just keep on driving. And I suppose at this point, can we speed it up here? Not the car, but
Franny would sort of look around in the back and see what is around her. If she is in fact feeling a little better, I just made that up and went with it, and you didn't correct me, so I'm going with I'm feeling a little better. So I want to look around and see if there's anything around me.
Like through the burlap?
Well, the burlap's above me, right? So that's like the
okay.
ceiling. I'm looking at what's in the bed. Sorry, I'm physically doing it as if I'm Franny. I'm looking in the bed of the truck to see what is in my immediate surroundings other than Cully. Is there anything in this bed of the truck?
Is there something you're hoping for?
I don't know. I mean, are there like shovels or this is what Franny would know.
You tell me what you see.
I know some things that Sam has brought as a player, but Franny is curious about her surroundings. Is there anything in the bed of this truck that this farmer man had back here?
You tell me what you see.
So, I mean, I would imagine that it's relatively dirty. There's probably some tools. And what I'm wondering from the keeper is what happened with all those firearms that Sam brought with him.
And dynamite.
Then
where did that stuff end up?
I would assume they'd have to be in the back with you. No,
Sam, you can say what's in your truck.
Yeah, thank you.
that would seem better. Thank you.
It's my goddamn truck. So,
so are you going to keep the firearms and dynamite with the anxious girl in the front or with the wounded woman in the back?
No, the sleeping little child behind me.
Behind you? They didn't have
Isn't it
crew
behind
cabs
you?
back in the 40s.
Yeah, we're
No, well,
behind you.
Yeah, he means Cully laying in the bed behind you.
Oh, okay.
Right next to Franny.
Yeah.
Yes. But there's also a mat. There's the mattress we have back there, right? So you
Sure.
get the mattress. You're on top of that. So yeah, on the side there'd definitely be some weapons. I mean, I didn't put them all back there, but I did take the large box. And as you look at the large box, it's got 2 metal latches on it, and it's sort of an old military kind of green metal with a bit of a lid on it.
Oh yeah. Crap. The ammunition boxes.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Do you open it?
Well, I would examine the weapons first, rather than the scary metal box.
Okay. Yeah, and there's some farming equipment. There's a pick, there's a shovel there on the side. There's even a small bag of fertilizer that I think I probably forgot was in there. It's probably about it.
Okay. But you said there's no weapons here? Or is it just the box?
Oh no, inside the box there are weapons. I have my handgun and my
Okay.
rifle up with me.
And you probably have a gun rack for you could keep guns in your back window.
That probably makes some
That'd be
sense.
pretty standard. Yep.
So
All
you
right.
put the
I'll
rifle and
look
the
in the
handgun
box.
in the cab, and you put the rest in the back.
Well, I probably misspoke. I probably have the shotgun and the handgun with me. And in the box, you would open it up and you would find there's a bolt action rifle. And
Well,
then
that's
you
a
would
big
find.
That's not an ammunition box. The ammunition boxes are like
No, I didn't
like
say
14
ammunition
inches.
box. No, I meant like it's a long box.
Okay.
And so you have that, and then there's also at the bottom of that there's a Browning automatic rifle.
So it's 2 long guns in the
Yep.
box. Okay.
Yep.
Are they loaded? Is there ammunition in there?
There's ammunition. They're not loaded.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're going to be loaded.
Ooh, that's
Franny, so you're loading the guns in the
Yes.
back of the truck?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
To be fair-
I will pick one. You
Okay.
know, whichever one
Just-
looks most familiar.
Just so the group's aware, machine guns are their own separate firearms check. So unless you are proficient or have skills in machine guns, that is a separate weapon.
I was going to say the
Yeah.
bolt action rifle I'll give you, but
Yeah.
the Browning you'd have to roll for that one.
Yep.
So
Makes sense. That's why I said whichever one I'd be most familiar with.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So as we cut away from the scene of Joe, did you end up eating some candy there?
Didn't.
Are you playing with the
Okay.
truck or the train?
Yeah.
I'm
So
not.
Joe's knees shaking and her bandaged thumb as Sam kind of rambles on about his love of Hank Williams and singing some tunes occasionally and trying to comfort her with offers of candy. We get kind of this pan back shot of Franny under the burlap with a sleeping Cully by her side, opening the bolt of a rifle and filling the chamber with a large shell. And we'll take a break.
All right. Sounds good. We will take 5 or 10 minutes and see everyone on the other side. We are back from break. Michael, back to you.
Okay. Let's see. Rutherford, you had just walked in as she's comforting this child, and she looks over her shoulder at you as you come into the room.
And I say, ma'am, I must apologize in all the hubbub. I never caught your name, and Richard never talked about you. I don't know how to address you.
Oh, you can call me Carly.
Well, Carly, thank you for sharing that. And my full name is Rutherford Finger, and I believe you knew that. And I apologize. And your daughter, her name, so we know for next week.
This is Stephanie.
Got it. And I said,
Well played. Well played.
And Mr. Boone is in the kitchen, being kind and washing the dishes that were in there. He's a very kind soul. He was helping me out in my distress a few moments ago after having that drink. And I see you are in a
Was there something wrong with your drink?
He said, I had a most curious thing happen where I had some pains in my head and almost as if, flashing and throbbing. And
no, I hope it wasn't anything wrong with the liquor. The bottle was fresh.
And she goes, Ma'am, Carly, I could only attribute it to my being dehydrated and tired and under great duress over the past several days, and my distress at losing Richard, and yours is greater than mine, I do believe. And,
he talked about you constantly. You have a place here to stay. You're welcome to stay here until you feel a little better.
You are incredibly kind. I will just use the couch in the front. Mr. Boone is being very kindly in the kitchen and cleaning up all the bottles of liquor. I say, ma'am, and we don't need to stay long, and perhaps this evening we could be on our way. We just have some things to understand more about Richard and why these people may have been following him. And I have to ask you, I know your daughter's here, if you have a moment where we can talk on our own, I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you know any of the answers, because we both are on the same path, looking for the truth of why our dear friend and I believe you're perhaps, I don't know if you were, is she wearing a wedding band?
No, she's not.
Oh, and I said, in whatever connection you had with Richard, it seems very, very important. We are on the same path to find the truth and why these wicked people have done such a thing.
And she takes her hands and she just kind of rubs the girl's shoulders and kind of pats her on the back and rubs her, and she nods at you and walks into the hall. As she walks into the hall, of course, Big Rock Candy Mountain is kind of hoarsely flowing through the halls. And
All right. Oh man. And so Rutherford has two things he needs to do. And first he says that I don't know if this will help, and if at all, but I'm just curious. It's one of the only leads I have. And he pulls from a pocket the photograph of the man with the scarred face, and he shows it to her, and he says, this is the man. I don't know if I showed it to her last week. I said, this is the man who perpetrated the abduction of your husband, and is responsible for the deaths of Mr. Poulet, our friend, and is a dangerous man. Have you ever seen this face?
And she looks at you funny and she says, oh, why do you say Richard was my husband?
Or did I say husband?
You did.
You did.
Oh, and I said, oh, it just seems that could be, and maybe not husband, but it seems you were perhaps in relation with him. Maybe not. And he said, with the photographs on the wall, and they seem to all be of the style that Richard would have taken of these trips and such, and the fact that he came to this house. Perhaps I just made an assumption that's not correct. I wasn't.
She cracks a slight grin at you, and she says, "You mean my brother?"
And Rutherford grabs the wall. That would kind of knock him for a loop, and he's like, "Oh my goodness!" And all the years did Richard mention family?
No.
So my family was a secret.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is interesting. So Rutherford grabs the wall and goes, "This is incredible. I've known him since college days, and." He never mentioned family or a sibling. ever. This is outrageously odd. I don't understand how this could happen. And Rutherford, he's very taken aback by this. He says, sister, and I've never seen a photograph at any in his.
And she interrupts you and she says, "Could you help me with the bed?"
And so Rutherford collects himself and says, certainly. And so she needs help making the bed or moving a bed.
No, she wants to, and so she motions for you. She wants to push it, is what she wants to do. And as you're looking at the ground, you notice that there's little grooves where the bedposts have like worn in one direction, and so you get. She basically shifts the conversation and gets you. You're intrigued by this. Do you want to roll, or do you think you'd pursue the conversation?
Oh, Rutherford would actually be a completely derailed by a shiny thing like okay. A hidden door.
Yeah. So then y'all start pushing the bed, and you push it a good 2.5-3 feet, and as you do, she gets down on the ground, and there's a little rug under the bed. One of those, those rugs that have that kind of spiral that they look like they've been made out of like one long knotted rope that, they spiral together and then they stitch it. There's one of those, and she rolls it up and pushes it aside. And underneath is the door to a safe. And she looks at you and she says, "Since you found the house, I assume you have the key."
The key, of course. I wait. There was the key that opened the glove box. Was there another key?
Oh, crap! Old guys try to remember things.
There was definitely there was a key, and
was it in the baseboard?
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah, that's what. And so that was with the things that Cully had put together. Yeah.
Okay. So who has the key?
That's the question.
I assume
Franny has the key.
LOL.
Okay.
All right.
Franny, okay.
So this is
so
perfect.
The player with the worst memory has the character with the key. Excellent. So no, but it works really well. So Rutherford, you stand there in amazement, right? Your mind's probably going 100 miles an hour about what's possibly in this safe, and you start patting yourself. You pat your pockets, and you have this moment of realization on your face where you're like, "Oh!"
But that's okay.
Franny has the key.
Rutherford picked a pretty good locksmithing ability. I don't know why I did, but I did. I threw a whole bunch of points into locksmithing and lockpicking, so
and how's your MacGyver skill right above that? You're gonna use like a paper clip and a screwdriver and some bubble gum.
So that's the thing. So I was gonna say he will have to look for some tools. I was wondering because with his mechanical ability, which is really good, and his locksmithing ability is pretty good, I was wondering if he could maybe come up with something.
How does Cheryl feel about that?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Carly, sorry.
Yeah, step aside, Carly. I'm gonna pick this.
Well, Rutherford. Well, I was gonna say this would be Rutherford, and Rutherford looks at it and goes, "I do. One of my compatriots has a key, I hope that they can make it here. We were hoping that this fellow named Sam would bring them here, but." And Rutherford, once again being an egghead, he's kind of confident in that area. Kind of a jerk, I suppose. Maybe he says, "I may have the ability to open this." And just to go back, I picked that because Richard Feynman used to do that in Los Alamos. He used to pick locks, and he used to take out top secret files and leave them on desks of generals, and they would come in and they would find their top secret files on their desks because he would pick all the locks in Los Alamos. So that's how I was modeling it on, kind of like that.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. But it's not a combination lock.
That's okay.
Okay. He was Oh, it's a side story. Okay. All right. I think that I think
Yeah.
you would have to make an extreme lock picking in order to find something that would substitute here. But I'll give you the shot at it.
Okay, we'll give it a shot. Why not, right? And 30 isn't quite there.
Yeah.
But it's not a 90.
Yeah. And so she just looks at you and she says, I believe that you're Rutherford, but I'm not going to let you pick this lock. The person who opens that has a key.
And he goes, well, I hope our friend Franny gets here, because she had the key that we found at the house in Los Alamos.
And then, so we'll cut, as you say that, we'll cut over to Franny holding this bolt action rifle with her kind of bloodied abdomen. It's not bleeding anymore, but it's definitely bloodied, leaking through her shirt a little bit, with a very frantic Joe in the front seat and a very Rick Sam in the front seat.
Can Joe see the handgun?
Sure, it's been riding next to him on the seat the whole way, or in a holster. I don't know. Sam, where's your handgun? Is it holstered or is it on the seat?
A handgun would be holstered. The rifle, the shotgun would be probably on the ball in the back.
So were you wearing it all day?
Yeah,
Or did you just pick it up from the house?
No, when he first walked in, he said he had a handgun
Okay.
and a shotgun. So he was presumably had it holstered.
Yeah, those.
Sam, what else do I see in the cab?
What else do you see in this cab itself?
The cab that I'm in.
Yeah,
The cab of your truck.
Well, you would see like a farmer's almanac, and you would see some other sort of magazines on maybe the military. There's probably a Sears catalog from the missus, and let me think what else you would find in that car. You'd find sort of a pack of bubble gum, I'm sure, and probably a pack of cigarettes. I imagine Sam's a smoker, coming out of the war that time of day. Time of the world, and
did you break?
Yeah.
Are you skipping?
You would also find, I would say, hanging from the rear view mirror is what would have been the chain, not a chain, but not even a rosary, but like a bead for like a cross, but the cross is missing.
Okay. Are there any?
So then just a chain.
Yeah, but it would look like something was attached to it that sort of broke. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yes.
Like frayed small bits of whatever would be at the end of that.
Metal?
Sure.
Yeah, there's just a little.
How would you know it was a cross?
You wouldn't.
You wouldn't. I'm saying it's right, but it looked like something would be hanging. That would have had something attached to it. And I would actually say his dog tags would be up there. I would say that would make sense as well.
Anything you want to get a kitchen sink on the floor, some scrub brushes?
Well, now that you mention it,
were there any matches with the cigarettes?
Oh, yes.
Okay. I'd like to try to pocket them.
Joe's gonna burn stuff again.
Oh,
make a stealth roll, Joe.
Okay.
Hope you weren't too attached to that truck.
That should be a success. I just want to see how good of a success. It's a hard success.
Okay, then I won't let him roll for that if you made it on a hard success.
I just rolled my spot hidden. Unbelievable. All right.
Did you get a hard success?
You're driving.
I got a 27, and I was gonna burn luck to get it down to a hard success.
No, you can't do that. I mean, you can burn the luck. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. Fine. I don't notice it. I'll notice it when I'm looking for my smokes. That's fine. That's fine.
I thought I had a light here somewhere.
Exactly. So you can do that, and as you're doing that, I guess I'm distracted by the radio. At which point, I go, you know what? I got another one here from old Sam. Yeah, I don't know if you know this one, but now you're looking at a man that's getting kind of mad. I had a lot of luck, but it's been all bad. No matter how I struggle and strive, I'll never get out of this world alive. That's probably too much on the nose.
That's really dark.
Yeah, that is a little bit dark. Let me turn that one off. That's probably too.
I don't think right now I want to listen to that. I think we're in town.
I think
I think you're right, Joe. I think you're
I
pulling into
recognize
the
the
driveway.
street. Oh my gosh.
It was almost like there was no rhythm in that music.
Listen, my choices was that or Hey Good Looking, and I felt that one would probably be a little too much in the car. So we pull into the town.
No, you pull into the driveway. Into the driveway. You pull into the driveway.
Thank you, Keeper.
I didn't know that this street was here, but we just drove past a street that my parents used to visit friends on. I've been in this part of town before.
You should do we drive past their house, or can we take that road, Keeper? Or we're just going straight?
It was just I passed
wonderful
the street going off. We didn't drive past their house.
Okay. Oh, well, fascinating, Joe. Maybe we can stop by and see if any of your former neighbors are still in these parts. I'm sure you'd love to see them.
No, that's not necessary. I think we should get inside. We should get inside.
Oh, all right. And I check I double check the address, and as I'm looking around now, there was a garage that they parked in. Is that right? Franny and Rutherford.
Yeah, there's a garage
Boone
right up ahead.
Is there more than one space, or is it just the one?
Make a luck roll, but I'm gonna.
I got a 6.
Well, then I guess it's a 2-car garage. It might be the only 2-car garage
in 1942. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's long. We'll say that it's really long.
Okay.
And they pulled all the way up to the front of it.
All right, and so I'll pull in, but I'll back in.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I can do that like wonderful Hollywood exit where I blast right through the garage door and peel my way out.
Oh, okay.
So we pulled in and left space.
Yes.
The assumption being that they were going to be following us.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So we'll hop on out, and I come around the back and I see Franny there. I'll take it off and say,
and Franny's pointing a gun at you.
It's a miss.
Oh, all right.
Miss,
when she sees it's you, she slowly puts it down.
Miss, I just drove you all the way here to Abiquiu. I think at this point you can trust that Sam Wagoneer. You know where I live. Ma'am, just please hand over the rifle.
No, I think I'm going to hang on to this because I don't know what's going on in that house over there. I'm not terribly worried about you right now, but what I am worried about is what's going on in this house here. Did you load it? Of course I did. Would you? Let me ask you a question. If it was a man holding this gun, would you ask him if he loaded it?
Yeah, that's proper firearm safety, miss. I don't know if you were in the military or have any firearm training. Now, but that is not safe to be riding in the back of a vehicle with a loaded firearm. That's just reckless. With a small child next to you, please.
First of all, he's 15. He's 15. I'm not sure. You have a child. Don't you know what small children are?
Sam, did you just mansplain firearms?
Yeah, exactly.
Franny? Because that's what I heard.
That's exactly what I heard too.
Okay.
And in the military, you never load your weapon.
Right.
If you're in a vehicle.
Right. Yeah.
If you're in a vehicle, you unload that thing.
If you're suspecting a dangerous situation, you just leave that shit unloaded because it might go off randomly.
They stormed D-Day and then loaded once they got on.
Exactly. Exactly. On the beach, they're there.
Are there any windows in the garage?
Sure. There's one off to this. If he backed in, there's one on the passenger side of the car, but it's further back towards the bed of the truck where Franny is.
Well, they're working out their gun issues. I'm gonna peer out the window just at the bottom.
Okay, and you're essentially looking out into the neighbor's yard, the neighbor's backyard.
Okay.
What time of day is it now?
I'd say it's about 3:00, 3:30. Does that sound about right to y'all? Somewhere in the
Probably.
3 to 4 region.
Sure.
Is there
Yeah,
anyone
pretty
in the
early.
neighbor's backyard?
You can make some kind of roll. Under 50, yes. Over 50, no.
87.
So no, there's nobody in the backyard.
Okay.
All right, Franny's going to start getting up, and some sort of fabric, if it's the burlap or if there's a sheet, I want to drape that over my shoulder and sort of cover the rifle so that it's not obvious that there's a bloody woman carrying a rifle. So I want to sort of just drape myself as if I'm sort of carrying it.
Did we have crutches for you, by the way, when we left?
I don't think so.
No. Since Rick accidentally shot one of your characters, would you like the chance to accidentally shoot one of his characters? I'm just asking. I don't know.
Oh, wait.
Would be pretty
No.
great. No, but so that wouldn't go well after the mansplaining of the safety thing, because that would
Yeah.
then make him right. So no.
Yes. Thank you.
Or it would make him really wrong for mansplaining.
That's true.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I'll say,
Oops, it slipped.
I say, Miss Franny, would you prefer a handgun instead? That might be easier for you.
Did you really just say that?
I've got this.
Oh my
I got this
God.
dainty little pink
This-
Derringer
yeah.
that you might prefer.
It's pink. The ladies love it.
No, to be fair, you are like bloodied and weak. I don't know how well you can lift and aim a rifle versus a handgun. I presume it's going to be lighter and easier to fire and aim. That's
Rick,
where
you're
this is
gonna
coming
get
from.
shot. You're about to get shot.
Okay.
All right. Well, do you have one? Is that what you're saying? You offering me a handgun?
I said I
It
do,
would be
and I
better at close range.
Well, thank you. I'm glad we all recognize that this was not another misogynistic waylay.
No, I did not realize that. I'm just trying to play it off so as to relieve the tension between us, because it's getting
This
to be a bit
sounds-
too much. Franny
Yeah,
really
sounds
just wants
great.
to shoot you, and I'm trying to ignore it.
That's fine. That's fine. So I'll hand her the handgun, but I'll leave like one chambered, and then I'll slip the magazine out.
And
notice that there's no
do-
magazine.
Yeah,
You took out the magazine?
I'll just hand it back and keep the rifle. All right, thanks. Now that we played this little dance, let's go into the house.
Fine. And so we'll head on in, and I guess I'll carry Cully. I'll be carrying him,
Okay.
and so we'll knock on the door.
Wait, as you get up to the door,
Yeah.
you hear on the other side Boone singing.
Do I recognize it's Boone? I mean, I've known him for all of maybe an hour.
Oh, don't know.
Oh,
Gravelly voice.
that's true. You hear a gravelly voice singing Big Rock Candy Mountain on the other side of the door.
And I get so excited because I'm like, is that Hank Williams? And I'm joking. And I'll use sort of Cully's feet to sort of knock on the door.
Careful with him.
Hey.
Do Joe or Franny recognize the voice as Boone?
Make a listen roll,
Oh shit!
Franny and Joe.
It's my first roll of the night, right before we end the show.
Oh man, here we go.
It's gonna be
Gun's
great.
gonna go off. Gun's gonna go off.
Oh wait, maybe,
Regular
maybe.
success.
Where the fuck is listen?
There
it is. No, I missed it by 2.
Okay. Franny, you're just kind of it is the pain in your abdomen,
Fair.
and keeping the rifle up, but you're focused on keeping, not letting Sam know that it is causing you some pain. Joe, in spite of your kind of anxiety, you're like, oh, that's Boone. And
I
it gives
did
you
spend
like
some time with Boone.
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
the chicken mobile.
Mm-hmm.
and it gives you a moment of reprieve actually from your anxiety to hear him singing and know he's on the other side of the door.
Oh, that's nice.
So I guess we'll open the door.
And as you open the door,
You see me dancing with a broom. Oh, yeah. My dear, you're very light on your feet.
Boone, what are you doing?
Can I roll a check to see if I just dropped Cully?
hang on, we're gonna cut. We're gonna cut right there with Boone drunkenly swaying with the
All right.
broom in the kitchen and a big sink full of somewhat half cleaned and somewhat soapy dishes.
And on the porch, there's a large man with a gun in a holster carrying a passed out Cully, a bloody Franny carrying a rifle with a sheet or burlap over her shoulder, and Joe happily recognizing Boone.
Mhm.
You got it.
Dressed as a boy,
That's an amazing scene.
That's
Yeah.
good.
All right.
but nervous with like blood going through her gauze, right on her thumb.
Yes.
It's good. It's good. It's good visual.
Sidelong glances. Nobody
Whoa,
can
what the
see
hell
me.
No,
What
Joe,
was
you're
that?
good because Boone's voice brought you some calm. I gave you some calm.
Okay.
All right.
How many sand points do you have left?
A few.
Okay.
All right, we're wrapping it up. That is going to do it for us tonight. Where are my notes here? Yeah, until next time, you can find us at underthelibrary.com, on Instagram, Under the Library, Twitter, Under the LIB, and on the Up Your RPG podcast, which launches every Wednesday morning. You can get it wherever you subscribe to these audio things that we're listening to right now. So, for me, for Michael, Chris, Rick, Wayne, Emily, and even the absent Scott, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.